So I'm joined with Sajed, a tier two AD carry, and today we're going to be talking about his career, and we're just going to start from the very beginning. So, how did you end up starting like way from the very beginning, like playing League of Legends?
Yeah, I had 2 older brothers growing up, and we played a lot of video games. They're a lot older than me, so they're better at a lot of the video games we played, and we're pretty competitive. We started off with, like, StarCraft, a little bit of Dota, and then kinda towards the start of high school, my brother introduced me to League. I didn't really like the game that much, but I didn't really have anyone to play Dota with. That game was kinda dead. I had people to play with League with, so I started playing League a lot. Think my first 2 seasons, I hit Plat 5 and then Diamond 5. So I kinda kept playing, and this is when I started playing League a lot is kinda when Kai'Sa was released. That was the champ that kind of stuck out to me because, I played a lot of Weaver in Dota. I don't know if you know what that is, and pretty much a carbon copy of Kai'Sa. So I kinda really enjoyed the game, enjoyed the character, and started spamming it a lot back then.
So from when you started, you like were always playing AD carry? Or did you switch to AD carry when Kaisa came out?
Uh, when I first started, I played Lee Sin and Vayne. Those were the 2 champs I played. I mean, like, that's kinda like the obvious, little kid that just likes mechanics. Do like Yasuo, Zed, Lee Sin, Vayne. And then Kai'Sa came out, the champ was just so fun, and I just spammed her.
And how did you go from? Well, first of all, did you end up becoming better than your brothers?
Yeah, not in Dota. My brother was very good at that game, I was pretty bad. And then my brother in League was, like, level 30, like, he didn't play the game that much. And
Okay.
StarCraft is, like I think they're both better than me, but they both say, like, I beat them in a 1v1, like, when I was young, but I don't really believe that 'cause I'm quite bad at StarCraft, and they're both pretty good.
Yeah, and then how did you go from, "Hey, I'm playing League, I'm Diamond, I really like this Kai'Sa champion," to, "Oh, I might actually wanna compete."
Yeah, I think many people probably have, like, a similar experience. During COVID, I just started spamming the game a lot. To be honest, I wasn't really allowed to, like, play video games that much. Growing up, it was, like, just on the weekends and very rarely, like, on school days. And then COVID hit, things got, like, a lot more relaxed. School was, like, all online, pass or fail, like, you didn't even have to do anything. So I started playing maybe, like, 10 plus hours a league. I went from, like, middle diamond to I just hit challenger. And, yeah, I also played, like, in my high school league, which was just like some small esports program. Played against some players in that league. Notably, Gorilla Jones is in there, so
Okay. Well, everything
that's like
connects to him somehow.
a little bit of a shout out, yeah. And then we won like every championship, the nationals, states, and yeah, I got like scouted by some colleges from that as well.
So you chose your college based on the fact that you played League really well in high school?
No, not really. Uh, that was gonna be the plan, but I backed out. I just ended up going to like a local school near me for college.
Alright, and then so you started playing, like, competitively in high school. How did you end up like, what ended up motivating you to, like, join the esports team?
I just had a lot of friends who not a lot, maybe like 2 friends, close friends that played League, and we saw, like, they have this, like, program, so then we joined, and, I mean, we kinda just won everything. We're all at the time, like, high plat, low diamond players, and, like, a high school league, everyone we played against, like, 1 master player, then, like, 4 golds or something like that. So, I mean, it was just fun, and they're, like, my close friends as well.
Alright, so it was just more of like a, "Hey, let's do this for fun," not like, "Hey, I'm thinking of, like, going to college and, like, getting a scholarship using this, like, esports."
Yeah, I mean, this is my, like, first 2 years of high school, like, I was just diamond in league, we are just chilling, like, it never really crossed my mind that, like, I'd be playing this game out of high school, to be honest.
Alright, and, like, alongside as you're, like, going into college and making these decisions, another thing, like, comes up, which is your streaming. It's like, when did you start streaming League?
I started streaming League. Well, there's only 2 times, like, in my time playing League that I started consistently streaming. The first one was during Champs Queue right before I got announced for FlyQuest. I thought it
Okay,
would
so that's,
just
like,
be really good.
2023.
Yeah, end of 2023. This is where, I duoed Kizno a lot in Champs Queue. We hit rank 1 and rank 2. I just streamed all my games, and I remember I got, like, announced for FlyQuest, and then the same day I got announced, I got a pentakill in Champs Queue, so, like, everything kinda just lined up. I was on stream too. So that was just like a good like boost, I guess. People didn't know who I was, so I started streaming a lot, and I was averaging like 50 to 100 viewers. And then recently, I've just been streaming. It's just off season. I'm just in school. There's nothing to do. If I'm gonna play solo queue, might as well just stream it. That's kind of my thought process.
All right, so let's go back to college. You said you ended up going to like a local college. At that point, were you like, okay, I'm kind of done with league as a like profession, or was that still in the back of your mind? Like, where did you go from like
Well,
starting college?
yeah. So right after graduating high school, or even during my senior year, I was talking to Bay State, which is currently Fisher College, and I was like scrimming with them. They had some good players like Saranock, Soy Blue, uh, Bajani, and I was scrimming with them. I was learning like a decent amount. Like keep in mind, I was just like a very fresh challenger player. I was like 16 or 17 at the time, and last minute I decided that I don't really want to go to college for this. I didn't really feel like it was right, so I ended up taking 2 semesters off because of that. Because I didn't really have like anywhere to go last minute, and I did graduate high school like pretty early, so I felt like I had the leeway to do that. And then I kind of stopped playing league competitively. I kind of just played for fun. I was just playing like jungle top, whatever. And then once I went to college, my first semester, I was like, all right, we have to give league another shot. Like, this can't be it. I can't be doing calculus for fun. And uh, yeah, that's when I started like trying to play again, like
What were you
seriously.
majoring in college?
I'm still majoring in computer science. I'm
Okay.
finishing my third year right now.
All right, so you went comp sci, you took your first courses, and you're like, nah, I can't do this.
Well, it was like the start of college, so it wasn't hard. It was just very like busy work and boring. That's how I describe it.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's been to college and graduated, I agree. A lot of it is just like, why do I have to do this?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
all right, so walk me through you deciding, hey, maybe league is something that I want to consider since like this school stuff is boring. To you getting on to a team and like starting to compete.
Yeah, so end of 2022, the only league I played was just literally playing Vayne top. I was like 900 LP Vayne top, and then I didn't really play anything else. Then I kind of decided like, okay, I kind of want to play competitive again. I want to play ADC, but the problem is I only know how to play 280 carries, Vayne and Kaisa. So I went and joined this like OQ in-house. It was run by like Minui, Perry, Draxer,
We'll get back to those
and
names in a bit.
yeah, I was playing that in-house. I remember I played. I got kicked after like a week because I locked in Vayne, and then they got like triggered. Like the enemy bot lane got triggered that I was playing something non-conventional or something. I don't really remember the exact reason. I just remember I got kicked for playing a Vayne game. And based on those in-houses, I ended up joining an OQ team. It was Lit Esports, and that was like my first like real competitive team. We were just like 5 rookies. It was Levacious, Munchie, Conveying, me and Che, and we did pretty good honestly. We're just 5 rookies, literally all 5 1 tricks to be honest. And the only team we lost to was Maryville. We lost to them both OQs like 5 times. We beat like every other team we played against, and Maryville was the best team in OQs at the time. So it's kind of unlucky we just drew them every single time we lost.
Do you remember who was
And
on that
then
Maryville team?
yeah, it was Get Back, Niles, Odd Orange, Scary Jerry, Zyko.
Okay, so that was the Scary Jerry Niles. All right.
Yeah, yeah, and we lost to them every time. And then, I mean, then we got a big upgrade in the esports. Like, we got Dragoon, Kisno, Messages. They're considered like the best, like top two, top three at the very least for OQs. So our roster is very good. I mean, we did very good our first OQ, and then in the middle of the second OQ, I got comp banned because I don't know how like up to date you were with OQs like 2 years ago. There was a whole scandal of like some guy, a comp band player, like cheating by playing on like a different account. So Riot like went and like manually investigated like every person, and they banned like 20 OQ players,
Oh
and I was one of
wow.
them.
I see.
Yeah,
So
and I got
you were
comp banned
account
for like
sharing or were you boosting or like what?
no, it was none of that. I got comp banned for a game. So this was in August almost. I got comp banned a game in March where like I didn't really say anything bad either. I just got comp banned for a game in March for like I had a guy like streaming, just running it down. I won't say who it is because he still streams and he's like a pretty popular streamer. And he was like literally like clicking into their Nexus, like just all chatting his stream. And I was just like, this is like so cringe. So I just flamed him a bit. I didn't really say anything bad, and I got comp banned for a year because of that.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's kind
So
of
it
insane.
wasn't even like you didn't feel like it was serious enough for you to like really get banned.
No, and then I mean I got it revoked like pretty fast. It just I missed the promotion tournament because I was comp banned during that time. And then Lit Esports did end up promoting without me anyways. They had Rock Boom sub in and they played pretty good.
So talk to me about that
Yeah.
experience of like playing against, Scary Jerry and Niles and like, names that we recognize now, but obviously back then you didn't. And playing with like, Kisno, for example, someone that you mentioned. How was getting the experience of like, okay, these guys are a lot more professional than my high school team.
Yeah, honestly, first off, like playing against Maryville and Lit Esports, I didn't really know anyone on Maryville. Like the only name I actually recognized was probably like Niles. That's really it. Like I didn't really think it's not like I thought they were bad. I just didn't know anything of them, so I had no like preconceived idea of how good they should be. And so I was just like playing like they're any other team. Obviously, they're just a little bit better than us. Uh, there was like two games. There's like two times we should have beat them. We lost 5 times. Like we were hard stomping them, and then they this is like back when stopwatch was in the game. They just team fought way better than us with stopwatches. So it's kind of whatever. And then when I had that first switch, like went from my high school to 5 rookies to then we had to Kisno, Dragoon messages. These guys are all pretty good. Like it was a fun experience. Scrims were definitely like a bit more professional. The environment was just like it was really fun, but it was also kind of a mix of this is kind of a little bit serious, and then you are with your friends. So it was obviously very good, and I had that learning curve as well. Like I was like steadily going up in like kind of the teammates. It wasn't
Mhm.
just put me in like very good players. I had to like steadily increase my way up, and it was a good learning experience.
Yeah, so as you're like you said, kind of climbing the ranks up and getting more and more serious, and like you said, you almost promoted with Lit Esports to from OQs and whatnot. Like where does the parents that were not letting you even play video games on weekdays, like what part do they get involved in with this kind of stuff?
Yeah, my mom growing up was pretty strict. I mean, I have 4 older siblings. They'll all say that like growing up, my mom was very strict. I think my mom was a lot more relaxed with me. It was all just like the classic. You get your schoolwork done, and then like maybe you're allowed to do whatever. And then COVID hit. Kind of priorities kind of change. Like you kind of you see life like differently, I guess, when you realize, hey, it's like it's a pretty short thing, and the world's a little bit dangerous, to be honest. So she was definitely more relaxed, and she kind of let me do whatever. And then I was also in college, so it's like get your classes done, make sure you have A's, and then it doesn't really matter what else you're doing.
Is this
Everyone has
so?
their own
Was it on
hobbies.
her radar? Like, did she know that you were doing this and competing, or was it just like, oh, he's just doing college and whatever he wants?
Yeah, she was pretty against the idea of me going to college to play League. This is like after when I was telling you, like I almost joined was now
Mhm.
Fisher College, and honestly, I wasn't really like on the idea anyways. It's not like I was trying to like convince her. She was saying no. We're just considering it. It's like it's free college, but I think my grades growing up were pretty solid, so I was able to go to college for free anyways. So it's not like I needed the league scholarship. And yeah, it's always on her radar since maybe like that incident during after I graduated high school.
All right, and at this time, obviously, like you said, you knew a little bit about Niles, but no one else from like the Maryville team. League esports is pretty big around that time. How much were you following? How much were you watching? Like, did you know about the LCS and the players? Like, what was your experience with like the professional tier one scene?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of LCS. Mainly I kind of just watched, like the big international events. The only LCS team that was like really like keen on watching was just C9 and EG at the time. I wouldn't say like I was like a big like super fan or anything, but I'd
Mhm.
watch international events, MSI, Worlds, of course, and then I'd watch mostly like C9 and EG's matches.
All right, so it wasn't like even now it sounds like you weren't necessarily like, man, I'm gonna make it to tier one. It was more like, hey, I'm gonna see where this leads me. Is that like accurate?
Yeah, I was never like oh, I see these guys competing on a big stage. I want to be there one day, and I'm gonna like try like as like a little gold player, try to get there or something. It's more just, I was decent at the game. I kept playing. I watched these guys. I'm learning from them. I don't want to like just spawn into their shoes. I kind of want to earn it, right?
Mhm. And then Champs Queue happens, and you get picked up by FlyQuest. Well, was there something in between, sort of like, that time?
Oh yeah, yeah. I can go through. So I did get comp banned, and I was kind of just like, okay, I don't really want to play if I'm comp banned for a year. Like I was cringe, but I ended up getting the comp ban revoked. But it was during the promotion tournament, so Lit Esports, I couldn't go back to the esports. Like I said, they still ended up promoting, so maybe it was a good thing for them. And then there was this EG combine at the time, where it was like top four in each role. That's not like a tier one or tier two player who gets like into this combine. And I remember I was at my brother's house because this is right before school started, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know, like this could be like the last thing I'll do for League before like I'll just give it one last shot. If I can't get top four for my role in solo queue, then I probably don't even like deserve to keep playing.
So
So I
just,
went
like, as a
home.
reference, how much LP at that time would you need to be to, like, be top 4?
I wasn't even sure. Like I can tell you now, it was like 1300 almost
Okay.
to be like fourth. But at the time, I wasn't sure. I was like top four sounds like an insane amount, right? Like you don't even know. Some roles are gonna be different. Like support, like the fourth was like 900 LP, but
Oh,
for ADC it was like
wow.
1300. Yeah, exactly. It was kind of weird. So I ended up going home for like 3 weeks. I had my account that's decayed from like Grandmaster or something, and then I got to like 1290 LP, and I remember the guy right before the cutoff, the guy above me literally lost the game and was 1 LP lower than me, so I got the fourth place spot. Like literally like 5 minutes before the cutoff.
With 1 LP difference. Like, if he didn't play
Literally
that game, he
1
would've been
LP.
fine.
Like if he signed up for the thing, which I think he did because he was a OQ player at the time, he would have just made it into the thing over me. So I was like 1292 and he was literally 1291 after losing. It was like so insane. To me, it felt like everything just kind of lined up. Like this kind of had to be right. So then I went to this EG combine. They picked me up for like they choose one person per role to fly to LA, just like for fun. You have like a week just to like chill there. So they flew us out to LA, and then
They
we had
flew
like a
you
show
and who
match.
else? Do you remember your the other 4
Yeah, yeah.
people?
Denethor, Kryra, Toasty, and Rox 908.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we had like a show match. We played against Core JJ and like some other players. It was just like a random thing. We ended up 5-0ing both times we played the show match. And yeah, so they invited every one of us to FlyQuest tryouts. I'm not sure if Rox actually got invited to the tryout because I think they had their support kind of locked in mind. But yeah, so they invited us all to the FlyQuest tryout. I played the FlyQuest tryouts. I still have all the VODs from that, like couple of tryouts. But honestly, like I watched them back, I didn't even do too great. There's some like kind of big names in the tryouts too, and I think what happened was it was like the coach invited us to do like 2v2s. So we did 2v2s versus like the LCS ball lane.
Do you remember who the coach was at that time?
Yeah, it was Rocco.
Okay,
He told me the plan. He's like, we're not really sure like what we want to do. We kind of just want to see like you guys play together. So Tribe and I did 2v2s versus LCS ball lane, and we did pretty good to be honest. So I think maybe that was like kind of what helped us get in because I looked at the VODs like kind of recently. Like I didn't even do that good in the tryouts. I was just like doing whatever. And I mean, there's like some pretty good ADCs there too, like Tomo, Wixie. Uh, I don't remember the other ones, but there's some pretty good AD carries. And then I guess I got picked up from the tryouts. It all started from the EG combine.
so you go from, "Hey, I'm still in college. I'm getting good grades so that, like, my parents don't mind me doing this, like, tier 3 kind of thing. Oh, I get comp banned. I'm gonna give it one more shot," to, like, "Oh, this team is, like, flying me out to LA." How was, like, that experience, that just the idea that you're being flown out? How are your parents and your siblings reacting to this? I'm sure it was, like, a lot different now. Like, it's a lot more serious.
Yeah, I mean, my whole family is in California. It's just kind of me and my mom chilling where we are right now. So the idea of us, like, the idea of I got flown out. The whole experience was pretty cool. I mean, it was just, you kind of get a taste of what it'd be to be a competitive player at the time. With LA, like you had to Uber your food. They give us the vouchers, like the normal like LCS kind of experience. And then the whole thing was cool. At the end, we had a watch party with FlyQuest because at the time a lot of the EG staff moved over to FlyQuest because of what
Mhm.
happened with EG, of course. So we had a FlyQuest watch party at the end of the trip, and it was very cool. Like I talked to Papa Smithy, talked to a lot of people there. It's kind of like the first touch I got to FlyQuest, and then my family was really happy because after that I got to spend the week with them. Like I asked EG to extend my flight just another week. Everyone else just had like 2 3 days. I just stayed a week extra, just chilled with my family. So it was pretty cool. And yeah, obviously, like no one in my family really took it that seriously at the time. My brothers and my mom were always like pretty supportive, but like they wouldn't have. Well, at least I don't know if they would have thought like I'd be like, maybe on the cusp of making tier one at the
Did
moment.
you think you were at the cusp of making tier one when you were flown out, or were you just like, still let me see what's going on?
Well, I mean, I just got flown out. Like this is gonna be fun. I didn't even think I'd get an academy tryout. I was like completely ready to just play some more OQs. Honestly, I kind of told myself like I'll play like 1 year of serious OQs, and if I'm not good enough to go to academy, then I'm probably not good enough to keep playing. And then I had like a very sour taste in my mouth when I got comp in because I was like, the promotion tournament, you get to play against the worst of academy, so you get to at least see like, are you at least worst of academy level?
Mhm.
But I didn't have the opportunity, so I kind of got triggered a little bit. That's why like I had a little bit more motivation.
I see. And then, so you went from like, let me see what this like tryout's gonna hold. I made it with one LP over the other 80 carry to joining FlyQuest, and your teammates are like now pretty much everybody recognized them, right? Ex LCS player in Chime. You had Shaden, who also had played LCS at that time. You had Surdy, and then you got like Quad, who's a multi-time LCS champion now.
hmm
Talk to me about that jump in like caliber.
Yeah, the very first few scrims were pretty bad. Like, well, my teammates are very good, so it was like the level like if we played against teams where I would be like fine against, it'd be too easy for them. And then if we played against teams that were like fine for them, like I'll just get pissed stomped. That was kind of like what's happening. But over time, it got better. I think we kind of realized like what the strengths are and how what's best for me to kind of keep up with my teammates. Because like we'd scrim a lot of LCS teams, and my teammates would do good, but I mean I'll just get stomped, right? Like I'm
Hmm.
going from literally playing against Bob and like Timmy and OQs to like Masu, right? Like it's gonna be pretty tough. But I think I did an okay job of kind of catching up and not being like a detriment and trying to learn as much as I can. I would say like FlyQuest, the whole year was a lot less focused on bot lane and more focused on everyone else. So a lot of the improvement I had to do on FlyQuest was kind of on my own, and I had to use like the resources given to me. Like Rocco helped me by getting me in touch with Unforgiven, who coached us a little bit, and I'd talk to Masu a lot and run some 2v2s with him because like he's part of FlyQuest. He's a nice
Hmm.
guy. He always helped me out a lot, so I have a lot of respect for him as well. And it was a good experience. It was like I was a lot more fortunate than others that my first tier two experience was with FlyQuest Insane Org in a good way.
Talk to me a little bit about your lane partner in Chime. Like this guy was playing really well in his time in LCS. Like he took that
hmm
TSM like last place team. They almost beat. They took EG to 5. They were like really close to knocking them down. And then like he obviously the next year he doesn't have a spot. TSM leaves, and then he ends up joining FlyQuest. This guy's like a playmaker. He has so much experience. And then, like you said, there's you who you feel like you're just getting pissed off. How is he like to as a partner to like help you learn and whatnot, but also as like a active leader in the team?
Yeah, Chime, he was really fun to work with. He's a really great guy. Uh, in my experience, he's not someone who like took more of like a veteran role. I like when he played LCS, he played with Wild Turtle and Stixay, so he was kind of like the one learning the most. And me and him, we had a lot of learning pains because we were both kind of like asking the other of what to do, but like I didn't know what to do, and he didn't know what to do that much as well. But I mean, he was a very great player. A lot of his strength came outside of lane. I'm sure like anyone who watched him can see that. Like he was a very active playmaker, big like team fight. He sees a lot of angles in team fights, and we worked hard to get our lane to like an okay level. We played a lot of 2v2s. We had like a big spreadsheet about a lot of things, and honestly, like we knew kind of early that he was kind of transitioning into law school, and I have a lot of respect for him because he went from LCS to just playing like academy, and he's going to law school. Like I feel like 90% of players in his position would kind of stop caring about NACL and kind of just be like more on the chill side. But he had a lot of passion even in summer. Like he really wanted to win. He put in a lot of effort. We were still running 2v2s even though like he was applying for law school and moving around. So I mean a lot of respect to him. Uh, but I mean we did have a lot of learning pains to improve together. Yeah.
All right, what about Quad? Like this guy comes in, he's completely stomping everybody, every single mid laner. He's like straight up an LCK player that got put into academy. What was it like playing with him before he got picked up by the main roster?
Yeah, he was kinda just a cheat code. I mean, he could just blind pick whatever champ, he'll win whatever matchup. He was a big shot caller too, like, very simple English
Oh, he
was
was
needed,
shot
and we
calling.
just
I
listen.
I didn't realize that because his English wasn't, like
Yeah,
you said, wasn't that great.
yeah, we would just ask him, like, very simple questions to get the ball rolling, and then he'll just tell us, and he was, like, the main shot caller, him and Surdy, and yeah, I mean, he was just a cheat code. You just pick whatever, you just win.
Interesting. Did you end up like so at this time? Are you staying at the FlyQuest facility or just playing remotely? Like, how was the accommodation?
No, I was playing at home. Only
Okay,
Quad was at the FlyQuest facility,
all right.
and yeah, the
Yeah.
rest of us were just online. We did end up going to the FlyQuest facility for like a week or two during
Mhm.
finals. That's about it.
Now, talk to me about finals. You go from, hey, this is my first team. I feel like maybe I'm not like I'm one of the worst players on this team. Everyone else has like a lot more experience. To hey, we're lifting the trophy.
Yeah, we went to finals. Uh, I expected us to like instantly win. I just had a feeling we were just gonna 3-0 like no matter what. I remember there's like we had like an interview where I was like, yeah, we're just gonna 3-0 Maryville because that's
Mhm.
the team we're playing against in finals. And I remember Niles, he was like the other person getting interviewed. He's like, anyone's a troll if you think it's gonna be 3-0. This is gonna be like the closest match ever. Like this is gonna be like the most hyped tier two is gonna be. And I mean, we just like piss stomped them. It wasn't even close. I got a penta in the first game. I remember game two. Serdi was tweaking out a bit. He's like, we need to pick TF here. I had literally no picks. Like they used four bans on me and they picked Jinx, which in my opinion was like the Thanos pick on the patch. And I just first time Ziggs, and then we just hard stomped them anyways. And then game three, we 2v2'd them like three times in a row, and the game just ended. Uh, I was surprised, honestly, like looking back at that finals, I was very surprised I didn't get finals MVP. I had like one death and like 20 kills or something. But I mean, it was a really fun experience, like playing on the stage. The night before, I was so restless, I didn't sleep. I remember I slept like literally 2 hours, and I was also fasting on that day too. So I was like very hungry, very thirsty, and I remember we were doing draft, and I told my teammates like, "Hey, I need to sleep. I need to just take a nap while we're doing draft." We're at the LCS studio, and my teammates are all looking at me like, like if your teammate tells you they need a nap like 10 minutes before you play, like you're just killing them. That's kind of what they're like looking at me. But I ended up just like falling asleep while they're just doing draft. And then I remember I got woken up to do like a rookie of the split interview. I was so tired. I was just like, what? Why'd they wake me up? But I mean, thankfully I played pretty well. Like felt like I was fasting on 2 hours of sleep. I felt like I was just gonna run it down. But I think like something on the stage kind of just makes you play better, low key. And it was an insane experience. Like my brother's also in the crowd as well, first row.
And did that experience end up forming like you told me like right after you got banned, you're like, I'm gonna give it one more shot. I'll see where this goes. To now you're winning this trophy. Is it like, okay, now I have to make tier one? Like, what is the motivation level at this point?
I remember my first thought after winning was the PCs on stage were very good, so I completely just rebuilt my PC. And my PC at home was pretty bad compared to the ones they had. So that was like my very first thought. And then for me, it was just like I kind of had the idea that LCS is probably achievable if I keep grinding. I knew at the time I was like nowhere close to making LCS. Like the jump is pretty insane. I thought like, okay, I'll give it like by the end of the year we'll see how much I improved. And I thought it was very unlikely I'll be able to promote at the end of the year, even if we win this play again and do good in the Brazil International. Because I mean, I have like a very realistic approach to this. I knew that my teammates were quite good. I was quite far from being like LCS level,
Mhm.
but I thought for sure like 2 more years, finish that year and play one more year in academy. If I'm smart, I should be like middle of the pack LCS by then.
So then you go into this next split. You have a roster change, obviously. Talk to me about bringing in Bradley and how that changed like the team dynamic.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't say Bradley was like too much of a downgrade, like mechanically or like as a player. I think Bradley was a pretty solid laner. He was quite good. At the very least, he's like top two or top three that split. I think just the environment as a whole got way worse. There's like a lot of factors that added onto it. I think between spring and summer, Surdy for sure should have promoted. I think that was like a given. So
Hmm.
summer, he was kind of just focusing more on kind of promoting with his own brand than kind of the team, I'd say. And I mean, there's just like a lot of things. Chime going to law school, we were playing with Krajan like a decent amount. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, but the environment was not great in summer, and
Interesting.
we didn't do that good as a team. But I still think like I think my biggest regret, uh, since I started playing League was our last series versus Fear. We
The
should have
finals,
3-0
yeah.
that series. Yeah, we should have 3-0 that series for sure. The first game I had a huge lead and I kind of just solo lost the game. And then we won the next two, I think. Yeah, we won the next two. And it should have just been a 3-0 and we should have made top two and went to the Brazil tournament. But I sold the first game. So it happens. That's my biggest regret. So I think, I definitely underperformed. I had a pretty underwhelming split. It's pretty sad. But I'd say the environment wasn't great. I still think my teammates all played pretty well. My coach, Rocco, he put in a lot of time too. So, I mean, it was just a pretty devastating split.
Yeah, I think most people did expect you, even with the downgrade in mid. Like you said, it wasn't that big of a downgrade. They expected you to play well, but that I mean that Dragon Steel team like was also kind of on fire, and a lot of people had high hopes. How did you feel like facing off against them? Did you think that they were favorites?
We didn't really play against them that much. Like, they kind of blacklisted us from scrims in summer for
Oh,
some reason.
interesting.
Yeah, in spring we scrimmed them 2 games and then we canceled the scrim set. And then in summer, like we didn't play the one match we played against them. Uh, I was playing like on a laptop with 70 ping and we got 2-0'd. Like that was the very first match of this series. Like I was just not home. We didn't scrim at all. I was just like playing on a laptop, visiting family because I had no idea like the match was gonna start that early. Like there was some weird schedule thing. And then we didn't scrim again at all until right before we played against Fear. We scrimmed them 3 times in a row. We literally 15-0'd them in scrims, like
Oh
15 wins, 0 losses.
wow. No wonder they
Yeah, so
blacklisted you guys.
I don't know, like I don't know what happened. Like they just uh didn't want to play against us. I don't know why. And yeah, literally the scrim set before we played against Fear, we literally 15-0 them. Three scrim sets in a row. So we didn't really think they were that good, but they're the team that was stomping everyone. And we kind of really had like they went undefeated, right? And then we had really high hopes playing against Fear, and then we lost. And then they stomped Fear, so maybe we were just their kryptonite, I'm not sure. But or they were just mental boomed that week. Who knows?
Yeah, so you don't end up winning. You finish third. You don't make it to the tournament. It's obviously very disappointing. And then Riot comes in and says, "Hey, we're merging NA and South America, North America." All of a sudden, FlyQuest was like, "Well, now we can't really have a tier two like academy team." Was that something where you were like, "Oh, I'm just going to continue with FlyQuest," but then the news hits? Was it like, "Oh, did you know you were leaving FlyQuest?" Like, what happened during that off season for you?
Yeah, I think what I was told is that if I wanted to play on FlyQuest, I could have my spot still if they had a team. They were gonna go with Cryogen as well, so it was just gonna be like me, Cryogen could play, and I know they were gonna go a completely different direction. Uh, I mean, it didn't happen, so I guess I could talk about it. I think they're trying to look at like Samikin plus your Uncle Phil as like and then they were gonna try to get like some veteran top side going, maybe like Tenacity. I'm not really sure. And so yeah, I didn't really have much of anything to go off. NACL like dropped like a bunch of the teams because that happened, right? So it's like you kind of had to go through OQs to promote. That was kind of the thing. So I was kind of just maybe looking at like joining an OQ team. I talked to Niles quite a bit during the off season. I wasn't really interested in Maryville to be honest, but the deal kind of just sounded too good to be true. And so I went to Maryville, and their initial deal did end up falling through, but they ended up partnering with Dark Zero. So it was at the end it was still the dub.
So when you join Maryville, are you like moving schools? Are you moving like states? What exactly happens there?
Yeah, I told Niles at the very beginning if I'm gonna join Maryville, it's only gonna be for 1 semester. And I'll finish like the CLL with them. I'll play both NACL splits. I'll move for 1 semester, but after the second split, I'll go back home. And he was very open to the idea. So it ended up happening. I moved states. I'm in Massachusetts, so I went from Massachusetts to Missouri. It's like half the country. And yeah, honestly, like Maryville was probably the biggest dub in my career. It was just as a person and as a player, it was just very good.
I'm assuming at this point your parents, specifically your mom, is like more accepting of like the fact that you could go do this. Um, I mean, after probably seeing you win finals and like play with FlyQuest and like that level of professionalism, did that like maybe soften her up to sort of just let you leave for a semester, kind of like that?
Uh, she was really against the idea of me going to Maryville. Like I said, just me and her,
Mm,
and like leaving her alone was gonna be pretty tough. Like that was the biggest doubt I had. But of course, she's very supportive. So like, to me, she'll be like, "Yeah, you have to just like go, like follow your dreams." But like, you could see like the outside,
mm.
like she did not want it to happen. But I kind of just knew it was like the best. And I told Niles like I'm gonna be visiting home quite a bit, and I did like during the semester I visited home like 3 times at least.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was like kind of a mix. Like it was a compromise, like give and take. And yeah,
So this is the semester where this is the split where Niles becomes head coach and he brings in Zamudo. Is that correct? Or is that
no,
later?
that was the split before. That was in summer.
Okay,
This
okay.
is
That was,
spring of this year.
oh yeah, yeah. So this is the spring of this year, and this is the team that you were playing on is the one with Toasty, right?
Yeah, it's Toasty or Spyrax. We
Okay,
had
yeah.
tryouts for that. It ended up being Spyrax, Spyrax UG, and in the middle of the split, it goes from UG to Shimmer, and then Shimmer
Yeah.
to Kryra.
All right. So a lot of like roster changes happening. Like you said, you one semester here, but then you're also visiting home back. How is your experience of like 2025 versus 2024?
Yeah, Maryville was just a lot better.
Oh, it
I
was
think just
better.
the
Interesting.
Yeah, I think just the aspect of being in person definitely adds to it a lot. You could also tell like playing with people who have all the people have the same goals is just gonna be better than like everyone wants to achieve the same thing. So it's like if someone's gonna flame you, it's gonna come out of like good heart because everyone wants to win. And yeah, that was like spring was the split I learned the absolute most in my entire career. I'd say from the start of spring split to the start of summer split, I learned more than my whole year at FlyQuest plus summer split on Maryville.
Oh wow.
That was like my biggest improvement for sure. Like I feel like anyone could see that in my gameplay. Like I started spring in Maryville, I was like whatever, and then I started summer in Maryville, I was like completely just dominating everyone. I think I had like the best laning stats that split for sure.
And you still finished second
And
All Pro.
yeah, I know.
What was that
Yeah,
about?
tactical is just a beast in scrims, but I mean it's player votes, right? I do think like overall he was probably a little bit better than me that split, anyways. But I don't know. Like I had an insane split. He just had like his whatever split. But I mean, it happens. Like he's a good player, so I don't really mind it. But yeah, like Maryville, I learned so much. Zamudo Spyrex were teaching me a lot. Draxler was helping out a bit. Niles was helping out a bit, and it was just a very good split. Like honestly, I was pretty bad when I joined Maryville at the start. Like I'm someone who needs to be kind of comfortable in their environment, and I just went to like a completely new place. I was living on my own, and I had to cook for myself. I had to do a lot of things, my own like everything. I had to be on top of everything. So yeah, like I said, as a person, I grew a lot. Like yeah, I took care of myself quite well, and I just got improved a lot. So that's why I said like Maryville is like the biggest dub I had so far.
So I have another question before I get into your teammates. You're a college student, or you're moving states like as a college student. Obviously
Mhm.
with like the scholarship for the esports program. How is it like balancing? Hey, I really want to be a pro. I'm putting all this time, effort, scrims, like research, watching VODs, talking to other players, coaches, all that stuff, and also, oh, I still have to do my like schoolwork, and I have to have. I'm assuming a certain GPA in order to maintain your scholarship.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Maryville school was really easy.
Okay,
Like
that works.
it was just yeah, it was just something in the back burner. Like I literally missed a midterm, and I still ended the class with like an A. Like yeah, yeah, when we were traveling, I
I've
literally just
failed
missed the midterm.
classes where I finished the final with an A because like a project I got like a C on. I was like, oh, it's not good enough, and you missed
Yeah,
the
yeah.
midterm and got an A.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Actually, I think
god.
I got a B plus on the class, right? That was the only thing that stopped me from having like a perfect GPA in Maryville, I think. But Yeah, I mean, like, the college I go to at home is definitely a lot tougher, like, balancing, FlyQuest and school was kinda tough. What I ended up doing was making my time at FlyQuest count as an internship for, like, a class, so I could take, like, one less class at during
That's
school at
smart.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was funny, like, Rocco, who's my coach, like, if I had a bad day at school, he's like, "I'm gonna call your school, you're failing your internship." I was like, "Alright." But, yeah, Maryville school was, like it wasn't really that hard. You can take, like, 2 online classes. I had, like, 2 in-person classes. They're just whatever. I'm sure, like, I took, like, very basic classes at Maryville. I wasn't really trying to take any of my hard classes there because I would rather, like, be able to take, Calc 2 or, like, linear algebra or, like, one of my more advanced CS courses when I'm more focused on college rather than just like, "Hey, I'm more focused on league." I'm probably just gonna be, like, you know, not putting my 100% in school, and, I agree, like, you can't have 2 major things and put 100% in it. Like, you can't be 100% in school, 100% in league. You have to put one on the back burner for sure. So, I think Maryville's, like, you could put school on the back burner and still get all A's. I don't think it's that tough to do.
So you're sorry, you mentioned like obviously I went to college and I had a lot of comp sci friends. You haven't even taken Calc 2, but you're year 3? Like what are you just like going a little slower in your classes or are you
Oh,
just
I
like
I think I'm done with Calc 2 now. It was just like, uh, I took a lot of the gen eds,
oh, okay, so
and
you
then
saved your gen eds. You were doing very difficult courses and then you ended just like having like a semester of like, you know, I don't know,
yeah,
3
yeah, I
gen
had,
eds
like
and like art or something.
I had, like, 2 CS classes and then 2 gen eds
Okay,
at
okay.
Maryville.
All right, because I was like, dang, 3 years in, hasn't done like Calc 2. Like, what is the guy studying?
Yeah, yeah. I just finished Calc 2, or I'm just finishing right now.
All right, that makes sense. Now, you played with a bunch of like a bunch of different teams. Like even this roster had so many different like iterations because, like you said, SpireX left and Toasty. Then like you had Zamudo for a while. Then he left. Then you had like Shimmer and Yuji. Like Kizno comes in at the end. Talk to me specifically about Yuji because when he got picked up for Team Liquid, the one thing that they kept saying, like I think Spawn said this, APA said this, is like he was a shining bright light in an absolutely dark and toxic environment. That was Team Liquid. So what was it like playing with Yuji?
Yeah, he was chill. Honestly, before I joined MU, I had, like, a really high feeling that Yuchi would get picked up, right? He was, like, double NACL, MVP. He's a good player, and I made sure, like, before I joined Maryville, there was, like, some good jungle alternatives just in case he leaves. And, playing with Yuji, he was just kinda, like, chill guy. He's very adamant on, like, what he wants to fight and what he doesn't wanna fight. He's not very vocal on, like, what other people should do. Like, he just tells you, like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna be clearing well. Don't lose your lanes." And, like, fight when I wanna fight. And, yeah, like, I can see why, Spawn and TL would say that. Like, even when he was tilted or, like, triggered about something, you would not notice it in game. Like, the thing that always triggered him the most is, like, he'd be hitting a dragon and no one helps him, and he wouldn't say anything. And then in review, he's like, "I don't know, you guys are trolling me." And that's, like, as tilted as you'd get, right? He's just, like, a very chill guy, very down to earth, and he's a good player too, right? So, it was fun playing with him.
All right, and what about like actually being? I know you said you learned so much, like spring to summer 2025 compared to like all of 2024. But what was it like having Niles as your coach? He's like a very polarizing character, but when it comes to people that played with Niles, they only say good thing. Like this guy was like so nice to me, so he was like so caring and so kind. And maybe his online persona doesn't necessarily reflect that.
Yeah, I think, he's definitely quite different as a player and as a coach. I think as a player, he's definitely very vocal, maybe like a bit angry. That's kind of the vibes I got. But as a coach, he's a nice guy. He's really he's a vibes guy as well. He's really adamant on just, hey, you guys don't have to do the best play, just pick like a good play and get on the same page. And he's very good at like making obvious like how to get on the same page and what to do. Very simple stuff that's like you can follow. Like even a toddler could probably follow what he's saying, and it would be good for NACL level at least. And yeah, he's a very like caring person. He was someone that I confided a lot into because I think last year or this year was like very, very tough on me mentally. I had a lot of things going on, especially like moving for the first time in my life, like Obviously, to some people that might not be a big thing, but it was hard for me, and there's like a lot of other things going on. So he was someone I confided a lot of my problems with, and like you can just tell like he's a good person. He was a very good coach, and yeah, like he's really bigged up. Like I'm glad I went to Maryville, and he's like one of the biggest reasons why.
You last in 2024, you were on a team where I think every single one of them either played LCS or like got promoted to LCS. You have Surrey, Shaden, right? They both ended up playing. You had like Quad ended up like promoting and winning championships. Chime, he obviously wanted to go to law school. Then you play with like Yuji, and Yuji gets picked up, and somewhere like Zamudo, obviously he's like picked up by Lion as well. Somewhere along the way, do you think like, okay, surely it's gonna be my turn next?
Uh, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of like realistic about it. Like the ADCs and LCS is like it's the most stacked role by far, especially the split. Like Berserker comes back, Rahel is like staying,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. I'm not really sure, but I mean, he just had
Yeah,
like a very good
he's on
split.
Sentinels. Yeah, he's staying.
Oh, that's like confirmed.
It'll be confirmed by the time the interview comes out. Yeah,
Okay, good. 'Cause, like I know that, but I don't want to say anything.
yeah, it'll be confirmed.
Okay, right. Like the ADCs and LCS are quite good. Like I said, I'm very realistic. I think some of the roles people got promoted to are definitely a little bit weaker. I think top lane and jungle right now are like pretty weak in LCS. And that's not to say like Zamudo, UG, or like Surdy, Sheeran are bad players. Like I think they're all LCS level, right? So that's why they got picked up. And I think like the state of 8 teams in LCS, especially for AD carries, like there's some LCS level AD carries that are not going to be playing LCS, right? I'm not sure. Like I'm not 100% sure if Tactil's going to join team, but that guy would be middle of the pack. He's quite good, but I don't think he's going to be playing LCS. And it's kind of like less about like, oh, when's it going to be me? It's more like I want like a winning opportunity, and I don't want it to be like rushed where I play one split and just that's it, goodbye career, right?
So
So
hypothetically
that's
speaking, if
kind of
IMT, because I don't want to use a specific team that's there, but if IMT were to come back and they were going to put a classic IMT last place roster, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to play," you would be like, "I don't know about that."
yeah, no, that's not happening.
Okay. So then, I guess, like you said, we have less teams now. Obviously, 2025 was a down year for the LCS as a whole, or LTA as a whole. How do you stay motivated to like play league competitively? Because like, surely, yes, you're realistic. Like, you're not going to take Sven or a health spot, right? But at the same time, like you're putting all this time and effort and competing. Surely, part of it is like, hey, I want to play on that big stage. I want to be competing.
Yeah, you gotta have a backup. I know like it might be cringe, like you're not going 100% all in, but you gotta have a backup. You also gotta be taking care of yourself, right? Like something I always think about is I played a lot of sports growing up. I played soccer and track in high school. Something I always thought about is like, let's say you put everything to become like uh play soccer professionally and join like the U.S. men's team.
What
Okay,
position do you play in soccer?
defensive midfield.
Okay.
Let's say like you put everything you can to go to like the U.S. nationals like soccer team. If you fail, you're gonna end up with like you're still like a really like young guy, completely fit body. You can still kind of do whatever. Like you'll be like in a decent, you'll be in very good shape. You still have like a decent mindset and like just the discipline and work ethic you have. You should be able to be successful in like anything you choose as a backup.
Like you
But
got
for League of
something out of
Legends,
it.
yeah, right. Like but for League of Legends, you fail. It's like I was just sitting at a desk for 16 hours a day for like a few years. Like there's nothing. So you gotta have a backup. You gotta be taking care of yourself. I think like Maryville is when I started actually taking care of myself. I joined Maryville. I was like kind of like a skinny nerd, just playing games all day. Since then, I've put on like 40 pounds. I've been going to the gym like 3, 4 times a week, and like I'm taking care of myself quite good. And then I have a backup in school. Maybe it's not the best backup, but that's like something like okay, if I fail, like I have something to do, so I'm allowed to actually put in as much effort as I can into league. And yeah, like those are like the two most important things I'd ever say like to someone who wants to actually try. Like the chances of you going LCS and doing good, very, very low. You have to be like a good talent that works very hard. So you have to be realistic. You have to do stuff on the side. Like you have to take care of yourself. Obviously, like playing a little bit less solo queue and grinding a little bit less in the long run, and like doing other things that benefit you in the long run will be better for sure. Yeah.
So then an alternative to that is something that like we've seen players like Surdy or even like Shaden, Spica to some sort of do, which is streaming. Now I know you were
Mhm.
saying like, oh, you stream duo queue. That was like one thing that you did. And now you kind of stream because you're like, why not? But how much do you feel like streaming can affect or streaming can be like a backup option for players that are in tier two?
Ooh, I don't think it would be like a backup option. I think league's already so saturated that, you have to do something very unique to kinda, like, pop off in streaming, but building your brand is also very important. Anyone could tell you that. Streaming is part of that. Having, like, a bit of a Twitter personality and a following is also part of that. Like, more people know about Gorilla Jones and Project Ash NA than almost all of NACL. Like, that's the given. You kinda have to work on that. Streaming will just help your brand. I'd never say, like, it's a backup, right? Like, even Surdy, uh, he's as almost as popular as you can get as, like, a tier 2, tier 1 player streaming that didn't have, like, a brand before. Like, he only gets, like, 200, 300 viewers. I'm not sure. I'm not, like, a big Twitch guy, so I don't know how much, like, 200, 300 viewers would,
It's
like,
a lot.
get you in money. I talked to him, like, a little bit. It's not like you can just live off that. Like,
If you have
it's
a
just, like, a
YouTube
little bit,
with
like,
it,
on
you
the side.
probably can. If you have a YouTube with it, like if you
Maybe
can't
maybe
live
if
off
you're
of it in
insanely
LA,
smart.
maybe, but like if you're sitting in like I don't know, other states, you definitely can.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe him
Maybe,
and I
like,
need
it's
to
a good,
talk.
like yeah, like, when I last talked to him about streaming, like, it wasn't anything, like, particularly insane. But, like, just building your brand, maybe just making some money on the side, like, that could be good. Because like, if you're playing solo queue as a tier 2 player, you should just stream it, even if you're getting 20 viewers. Like, I stream it, I get, like, 30, 40 viewers, whatever. It's just, like, more people will know you, right?
Mhm.
Like, why shouldn't you?
Yeah, that's like the other thing that I was gonna get to is like no hate to like Sturdy. I'm not saying Sturdy is a bad player, but a big part of the reason he got picked up was the fact that he had such a big brand. The fact that there was this whole push of like he broke, the record for LP. Like, look at this guy. He's streaming. He's doing all this stuff. That really brought a lot of attention to him. I think XU himself, like the when he first got on Cloud9 then didn't, and like that stuff, it was because of his stream as well. And like he was making content, and like people started to know him uh, through stuff that he was doing. And so like branding yourself, you were saying like in order to get a spot, you need to be really really good. I'd say like that's like 80% of it, maybe
Mhm.
70. But there is a 30% of like, if people don't know about you, if people don't see you, that does reduce your chances. Instead of picking up Surdy, they might have looked for Photon from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, I personally think Serdy should have got promoted in between splits. And so, I mean, he definitely felt that way too. So he definitely went all in into like the content route. Like, okay, they probably just don't know who I am. And that's why I was saying, like, even when we were in season, he was still streaming like 5, 6 hours a day. He was like grinding solo queue, and then he had rank one on his alt account. And yeah, like that's kind of what you have to do. I think making it to LCS, you have to be very good, obviously. Like to be successful in LCS, you have to be very good. I think that's the most important thing, right? But just to be picked up, like you need a level of branding, you need a little bit of luck, and everything kind of adds up. But I think if your brand matters so much, though, it kind of has to be like it has to be a little bit of fault in the scouts. But you kind of just have to do everything that you can, right? And I think building your brand is important.
Well, let's just say North America doesn't have the best like structure. I will say over the past few years it has improved, but there have been years where like someone will throw a combine and then the next team will be like, "Oh, we're just gonna throw the combine with the same players that they did because they must have done their job, right?" Not naming any names, but like that legitimately happened in North America a few years ago. So um,
Yeah,
brand
yeah,
never hurts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's always a good thing.
So what can we expect from you going into 2026?
Yeah, probably just an NACL team. I don't know. We'll see what's gonna happen. I think I really want to go to Korea before the season starts. So I mean, we'll just see.
You're gonna go boot
I
camp?
really
Like,
Yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 month boot camp with some of my like ex teammates or maybe future teammates. I don't know. I don't think LCS is very likely, so I'll
oh,
have to
a name
do
I
what
did
I
want to
can.
talk about. Um, Minyu. Talk to me about him. He's like,
Who? Sorry.
uh, Minui. Am I
Oh,
saying it
Minui.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Minui.
yeah.
Maybe I misspoke. Uh, Talk to me about it. Like, what is he like as a person? Because like um, I feel like he's gaining more traction these days. Like more people are talking about him and discussing him. So like, how is it
Mhm.
like working with him?
I wouldn't know too much. I just know like he made a good choice about swapping to support. I think he's definitely more of like a supportive player. I think his role swap benefited him a lot. He made top 3 in his first split as
Hmm.
a support, and honestly, he could have even beat us and made top 2. Yeah, I mean, like you'd have the work ethic to swap roles. I mean, I know he also played top and won ACL, right? So just have that work ethic and kind of like the
Really, he played top in
fundamentals.
one ACL? I didn't know
Yeah. So I mean, just to have the fundamentals to play like multiple roles and still be like pretty solid in all of them is just like you must know the game to a very good level, and like you must be like working pretty hard. And I mean, I'm a sub for their ACL team right now.
that. Hmm.
You know, he didn't show up to 2 out of the 3 matches, so I had to play support for all 3 of the matches. So I mean, I subbed in for him. You know, like he's quite a good support. You know, I was getting flamed by my team. Like, hey, he's a way better support than you. It's like, I mean, he plays this, I don't, but
Yeah.
good to hear. I don't really know that much about him, but his fundamentals of the game must be pretty high, and he must be working pretty hard to be like doing what he's doing.
All right. Do you have any specific like player maybe we didn't talk about, or like a specific instance that happened in your career that you'd like to like highlight or talk about or shout out?
No, I mean we went through everything pretty extensively, to be honest.
All right. Um, I guess we're just excited to see what you do going into 2026, and I really hope you get a spot like in LCS at some point. I've seen a lot of people. I actually have one last question here. I've seen people kind of compare you to Danny, wherein maybe your laning wasn't the greatest, but you're like a little bit better than Danny in laning. But you're a little worse in team fighting. But you're the kind of archetype
Mhm.
of like, hey, don't expect me to like 2v2 kill them in lane or anything. I'm just gonna try my best to go even, and then come team fights, I'm gonna see these angles that maybe other AD carriers don't. Do you see yourself as like that kind of player?
I think like based on the champs you made early on, kind of defines how you are later. I think like I played Vayne and Kai'Sa. If you're winning lane on those champs, you are the best player in the world. So like the only thing you can really do on those champs is kind of like team fight and play like very unique angles. I think the biggest strength I've had as a player is playing team fights at a very unique angle. Like I think Lucian was the biggest champ I could really like see that on. Watching like other players play Lucian compared to like how I'd play him in team fights, how I'd want to see people play him, like it's just very different. And a lot of times people be like, "Oh, this is like weird. Like you're an ADC. Why are you thinking like this? Or why are you even trying to do this?" But yeah, like I could kind of see it. My team fighting has always been like my strongest suit and skill. I'd say like the big reason for kind of stuff like this is that I think getting coached like pretty early on in your career kind of is a detriment. I think there's like a lot of players I know that they lose a lot of like their raw skill and like flair, kind of get like beat up by the system. Oh, you can't take risks. You got to do this. You got to do that. Like obviously for LCS, like that's kind of how you have to be. But I think like you could see it. Like Danny was very raw into LCS, and it was very good for him. Even though he was like getting shit on in lane a lot of the times, his team fighting was very very good. And like for me, my laning was always pretty bad. Like FlyQuest, it didn't really help that much. I tried my best to get better, but I mean, I didn't really improve that much in lane. I improved a lot this year in my lane phase. Like I actually started to understand the game, and this whole year I didn't work on my team fighting like even one bit. It was literally just all laning, all understanding the game, and all like champ pool stuff. I mean, I think Danny was just like super talented. Like I think I like a level of talent, like probably not nowhere close to his, but I worked really hard to get where I am, and I think he kind of just spawned in like as a beast.
I just want to say thank you so much to Sajed for actually doing this with me. Obviously, this was recorded before he was announced, so like everything that we talked about announced for DSG was previous to that. So we didn't like talk about him playing or anything. But again, huge shout out to him. Like his um, I really believe that luck is when hard work and preparation meets opportunity, and like he did that, right. And obviously there were multiple times in his career where you could see he could have just not been playing, and now he made it to tier 1. So it's like um, I was being very obvious with saying like, hey, you see people like Surdy and Shaden and UG, and like everybody is promoting when's your turn. And he was like, oh, who knows, I was like. But yeah, thank you so much for him. I have a lot more interviews coming out, so yeah, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to keep this channel busy during the off season. I know Don Jake as well is doing a great job. Like I think he's doing like almost every single day. That guy's crazy. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next interview with Logan Jungle. He's really cool, by the way.